You've been lied to about branding. It's not just about a fancy logo, a catchy slogan, or an aesthetic Instagram feed. Those things help, sure, but they don't build a successful brand. The real game? It's about strategy, psychology, and knowing exactly how to position yourself in a way that actually matters. Because let's be real, no one cares about your brand unless it solves a problem, fills a gap, or makes people feel something. Yet, most businesses waste time obsessing over perfection instead of making moves that actually drive results. So if you're tired of the endless branding buzzwords and want a pragmatic, no-nonsense approach that actually works, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm breaking down the raw, unfiltered truth about what it really takes to build a brand that sticks. We're ditching the fluff, skipping the outdated advice, and getting straight to practical strategies that you can start using today. And trust me, some of what I'm about to say might challenge what you thought you knew. But here's the deal. You can keep doing what everyone else is doing and blend into the noise, or you can learn how to create a brand that actually stands out and drives success. Your choice. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have the tools, the mindset, and the clarity to build a brand that doesn't just exist, but dominates. Let's get started. Number 1. Ditch the passion, follow the money. They told you to follow your passion. They said, do what you love and the money will come. But let's be real. How's that working out for most people? Exactly. The truth is, passion is overrated when it comes to building a successful brand. What actually works? Following the money first. Sounds cold? Maybe. But it's also the smartest move you can make. Now, I get it. That advice feels like a betrayal of everything we've been taught. You've probably heard countless success stories of people turning their hobbies into million-dollar businesses. But what they don't tell you is that behind every passion success story, there's usually a market demand driving it. If no one is willing to pay for what you love doing, it's just a hobby, not a business. And last I checked, hobbies don't pay the bills. Think about it. How many people are passionate about music, photography, or writing? Millions. But why do only a handful actually make it? Because most of them focus on what they love instead of what people actually want. If you flip the equation, find what people are willing to pay for first and then bring your passion into it, you win. Instead of forcing your love for something onto the market, you let the market guide you to something profitable, then make it your own. Let me give you an example. I once knew a guy. Let's call him Adam. Adam was obsessed with designing t-shirts. He poured his heart into every design, spending hours perfecting every little detail, but no one bought them. Why? Because he was designing for himself, not his customers. Then one day, he decided to test a different approach. He looked at trending topics, analyzed what people were actually searching for, and created designs around that. Sales skyrocketed. He didn't ditch his creativity, he just applied it where the money already was. This isn't about selling your soul, it's about being smart. You can always bring your passion into the mix later, once you've built a foundation that actually pays. This is about making sure your dreams don't stay dreams because they weren't profitable enough to sustain. Passion is great, but financial freedom? That's even better. So next time you hear someone say, follow your passion, smile, nod, and do the exact opposite. Follow the money first, and soon enough, you'll have the freedom to pursue anything you want, without struggling to make ends meet. Your future self will thank you. Number 2, steal like a brand strategist. You've been lied to. They told you originality is everything, that the key to success is coming up with something completely new, never seen before. But here's the truth. Originality is overrated. The biggest brands, the most successful businesses, they didn't create something entirely new, they stole, but strategically. Now, before you start picturing some shady business moves, hear me out. I'm not talking about copying someone's work word for word or ripping off their ideas. That's lazy. I'm talking about reverse engineering success, taking what already works and making it your own, better, sharper, and more tailored to your audience. Every great brand you admire, they did exactly this. Think about it. Apple didn't invent the smartphone, they refined it. Facebook wasn't the first social network. They just out-executed everyone else. Even Netflix wasn't the first to stream movies online. They simply did it in a way people couldn't resist. The best brands don't waste time trying to be completely unique. Instead, they find proven formulas, adapt them, and make them irresistible. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine wanted to start a streetwear brand. Instead of blindly designing clothes he thought people would like, he studied the top-selling brands. He analyzed what colors, fonts, and designs were trending. He even looked at their marketing strategies, how they used influencers, what kind of captions they wrote, how they priced their products. Then, instead of copying, he combined those elements with his own creative twist. His first collection sold out in weeks, not because he was the most original designer, but because he understood the psychology behind what people were already buying. This is what stealing like a brand strategist is all about. It's not about copying, it's about learning from what works and making it work for you. It's about observing, adapting, and executing better than the competition. And guess what? The brands you look up to, they're doing the exact same thing. So forget the pressure of being 100% original. Instead, be 100% strategic. Study the greats, dissect their success, and craft something that feels fresh without starting from scratch. Because in the game of branding, the smartest thief wins. Number 3, the 1% controversy rule. If no one disagrees with you, no one remembers you. That's the brutal truth of branding, marketing, and even personal influence. Playing it safe, trying to appeal to everyone, that's the fastest way to be ignored. But what if I told you there's a way to get attention, build a loyal following, and stay relevant without completely ruining your reputation? It's called the 1% controversy rule, and it's the secret weapon of the boldest brands and personalities. Now, I get it. Controversy sounds like a risky game. You don't want to be that person who constantly stirs the pot for the sake of attention. But let's be honest, have you ever seen a brand blow up because they were too neutral? Exactly. The trick is to embrace just 1% controversy, just enough to spark conversations, challenge the status quo, and make people feel something. Not enough to get cancelled, but enough to make you unforgettable. Think about brands like Nike, Tesla, or even Wendy's on Twitter. They all have that edge, whether it's taking a stance, roasting competitors, or pushing boundaries in their industry. And people eat it up. Why? Because bland doesn't sell. Humans are wired to respond to emotion, and a little controversy adds the spice that keeps them engaged. I saw this play out firsthand with a friend who started a fitness brand. At first, his content was the same as everyone else's. Generic advice, safe motivation, nothing special. Crickets. Then one day he posted something different. He called out the fitness industry for selling shortcut diets and fake transformations. He straight up said, "If you're looking for an easy way out, unfollow me now." The result, his engagement skyrocketed. Comments flooded in, some arguing, some agreeing, but all talking. And that's the point. He didn't offend everyone, just 1% of his audience. But that 1% made all the noise, and suddenly his brand had a voice. This isn't about being reckless, it's about being bold, strategically. Pick something you stand for, challenge a norm, call out the fluff in your industry, or take a fresh, unpopular stance. Will everyone love you? Number. But do you really want to be liked by everyone, or do you want to be remembered? So here's the takeaway. If your brand, your content, or your message never makes anyone slightly uncomfortable, you're playing too small. Dare to embrace that 1% controversy. Because in a world drowning in safe, forgettable brands, the ones that dare to be different are the ones that win. Number 4. Burn the business plan. Launch. First, you don't need a perfect plan. You need action. That's it. The biggest lie aspiring entrepreneurs tell themselves is that they need to map out every single detail before they start. But let's be real. How many times have you seen someone spend months or years obsessing over a business plan only to never actually launch? Analysis paralysis is the silent killer of great ideas. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. Now, I know what you're thinking, but isn't planning important? What if I fail? Let's flip that. What if spending too much time planning is why people fail? The truth is, no amount of planning can predict real-world reactions. The only way to know if your idea works is to put it in front of actual customers, imperfect, messy, and all. And here's the best part. The faster you launch, the faster you learn. We've all been there, sitting on an idea, tweaking it endlessly, convincing ourselves that we just need one more thing before we start. But let's look at how the most successful people operate. Elon Musk didn't wait until Tesla was flawless before rolling out early models. Mark Zuckerberg didn't spend years writing a 200-page document on how Facebook should function. They launched. They iterated. They adjusted based on real feedback, not just theoretical guesses. I saw this play out firsthand with a friend who wanted to start a digital marketing agency. He kept talking about getting his website just right, designing the perfect logo, and crafting the ideal service packages. Meanwhile, another guy I knew just started pitching clients with a simple Google Doc of services. Guess who got paying customers first? The guy who launched first. And guess what? After a few months, he refined his services based on actual client needs, while my other friend was still tweaking his homepage. This is about momentum. The more you delay, the harder it gets to start. Instead of writing a business plan, launch a test version of your idea today. Sell before you build. Offer before you perfect. Because once real people engage with your product or service, you'll get insights no spreadsheet could ever predict. So, burn the business plan. Launch first, refine later. Perfection is an illusion, but progress, that's what actually builds businesses. If you're waiting for the right moment, this is it. Go. Number 5, fake it, then build it. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to start acting like one. Sounds crazy, right? But think about it. How many people actually feel ready before they take the leap? Spoiler alert, almost no one. The difference between those who make things happen and those who stay stuck is simple. They show up as if they belong, long before they have it all figured out. Now, I know what you're thinking. But isn't that fake? What if I get called out? Trust me, nobody's out here running background checks on your confidence. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards proof. And the fastest way to create proof, act like you already belong in the room. When you start speaking, moving, and thinking like the person you want to be, you start attracting the opportunities, the connections, and most importantly, the experience that actually makes it real. We've all been there. Hesitating, overthinking, waiting until we feel ready. But let me tell you about a friend of mine who wanted to be a filmmaker. He kept saying, I need to take a course first. I need better equipment. I need to understand storytelling. Meanwhile, another guy just grabbed a camera, called himself a filmmaker, and started shooting. Guess who actually became a filmmaker? The one who acted like one first. This isn't about lying or pretending to be something you're not. It's about stepping into the role before you have every qualification on paper. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. The moment you start moving like the person you want to become, you start building the skills, the network, and the mindset that actually make it real. So, fake it? Yeah. But not in the lie your way through life kind of way. Fake it in the step into your future self before the world gives you permission kind of way. Because waiting won't get you there, acting will. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope this video gave you a fresh, pragmatic perspective on building a successful brand. If you found it valuable, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people like you. And if you're hungry for more no-nonsense strategies and real talk on branding and business, don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Know someone who's struggling to get their brand noticed? Share this video with them. It might be the game changer they need. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Have you tried any of these strategies? What's worked for you and what hasn't? Your experiences could inspire and help others in our community. Remember, building a brand isn't about being perfect. It's about being real and creating something that truly resonates. Keep pushing forward, stay authentic, and never be afraid to break the mold. Until next time, keep building something that matters. You've got this.